Good morning, guys. Welcome to Bitcoin Bounce. It's Deon here, and we're jumping into the chart. So, looking at the news yesterday, overwhelmingly it was bearish for the dollar, and the Fed said that they were considering more interest rate hikes in the near future. So, the dollar didn't take that well. You can see we had a very nice pullback here on the dollar into the support zone here. And there's no news today, but tomorrow more big news. So hoping that that news, if that's also negative, that we could actually pull back down to around about the 100 point mark, which would be great for all our crypto trades and Bitcoin in particular. Then just having a look at the bigger picture. So this was the dollar drop down to that support level there. And remember yesterday when we had a look, S&P 500, Nasdaq and Bitcoin were all stuck in those resistance zones. So because of that drop now, they've all managed to break out, which is great. The market cap basically still just ranging sideways, and the other good news is the crypto total market cap. So that's just the total money flow into crypto. As again, yesterday we were under this 1 trillion mark, and yesterday we managed to break out, and hopefully we'll hold above this support area here, which would be great if we can find a base and start going up. Just market confidence, that would be great. Then jumping into Bitcoin. So this is just Bitcoin on the weekly. We had a look at this yesterday, so said that we had to, if you're a hodler or wanted to get into like a really long-term Bitcoin trade, that you would have to break above this trend line here and actually above that zone, and that also happens to be the 50 EMA on the weekly. So we would kind of want to break out of this area if you wanted to consider like a really long-term hold. Even short-term, we would have to break that line for us to be going to the top side. Then on the daily chart, we're still trading in this parallel channel. We haven't managed to break out there yet. If we do, then our target would be this 800 EMA, but at the moment we're still just trading within that. On the 4-hour, we were looking at these patterns. First of all, there's a possible like W reversal pattern here. Let me just zoom in a bit. So it's a perfect W, and it should come back down to retest kind of that little area here, which it looks like it's doing, or at least come and retest the 20, and the target for that would be this here. So if you had to take that leg, and from the breakout, which could probably be around about, say, there where we would break that neckline, it could be around about a 26,000, 25,500 odd price that we're shooting for. If this pattern does actually play out, then what we were also looking at yesterday, there's like a little narrowing wedge, so these normally break to the downside, so we'll keep this open just as an option. And other pattern we had here was also just trading within a parallel channel, so it looks like we're coming to retest that little middle area there, or maybe the 20, so we can still keep that up. Then jumping down to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, basically they're just these two lines that I would be keeping an eye on, so we would have to break them to go up. So it's either that one from that high, or otherwise this one here. So I don't know which one we're going to be following, but I would just be careful around about whenever we get to it. So if we break down here and we break it, then I would again be careful when we get to the top side of that one. So both of these could play a role, but for now it looks like we're coming down to retest the 20. I wouldn't, it's too late to short this. You would have had to short this last night. When we hit that high, that would have been a good entry to short, but we were all sleeping then, in South Africa. And I think might be too late now, because there could be support in this area. If we have a look at the volume, you can see that there is a bit of volume in this area. So I'm not 100% sure that we're going to be going much further down, but we could be. So I would rather just wait for a good entry again to the upside. Let me just have a look at the levels for us. So also we can just have a look at the trade that we got into yesterday. remember that we got into a long trade here. So my stop loss was under that wick there. Let me just take it out of the way. It was under there, but last night I was watching the news event. So it was 9 o'clock South African time. So I could just see that this was just a stop hunt week. So I just cancelled my stop loss because I was awake and I was trading and I could see what was happening. So I didn't get so if you weren't watching it like I was, you would have been your stop loss would have been hit, yeah. But I just cancelled it. I could see that it was a wick. I'll show you now. Also on the liquidation screener, you can see that that's the target that they were going for. And I was looking at the dollar, seeing that the dollar was tanking, but and Bitcoin as well, so it didn't make much sense. And I knew that the dollar, was expected to tank, but Bitcoin not. So it was just the market makers, the big players, just going to just the stop hunt. So I just wanted to see that out, and then once the price started going up again, I just got back in. So if we just turn these levels off, let me show you here on the liquidation screener. So this just shows you where the positions are being liquidated, would be liquidated. So you'd see that's exactly there. They went to just liquidate the guys that let me actually show you. You could see that they were let me just get some thing here we go. If you just have a look, they were trying to tempt people to go short, and on the short they then immediately took the price to the upside. So they were liquidating the guys that went short here. They got liquidated over here, and then they were building people, building their positions by taking, trying to get people to short again with those wicks here and that big wick here. So lots of breakout traders from that area there, they were getting into trades thinking that we were going short now. So all those guys that were then going short, they all got liquidated up here. And you see where they took the price right up to that liquidation area there. So these zones are like the people that went 50x long, 20, I think this is 25 and 15 odd, or 10x's, so they all got liquidated there. So you can see they just came exactly to that area and exactly to that area to come and the market makers, the big banks and so on, to come and get liquidity that were in those areas. So I saw that and then just cancelled my stop loss. I had just a target in mind around about here. I thought if we were going to go below that, I would kind of rather just consider maybe we were going to go short then, but luckily just above that then we started going long again. It was just a very quick wick. Anyway, let's get into Ethereum. So Ethereum also broke above that zone that we had here, come back now to retest. So I won't get into a short now. Ethereum actually looks fairly strong at the moment on the stochastic. It is still going down. So it could be that we range sideways and just turn in this area. Yeah, hopefully we come as low as the 20, and if we're really lucky down to this 50 to retest. But I don't know. It looks a bit too strong at the moment, too bullish. So I'll just hang a bit and just see if we can get a better entry up here to the top side again. And our target would be then this high and obviously this zone up here. So for now I would just be holding a bit, especially with the big news coming out tomorrow. So we'll see then what happens there. If it's more bad news for the dollar, I think we're just going to, it would just be a good place to just enter here and then just trade it to the top side. We might not be coming back soon, but let's see what happens. I wouldn't as I say, get into anything there. ADA as well, also waiting for it to come back down to this 20, or just to show that we've found a solid base back here in this area here. And MATIC I think is the same. So also waiting to get back down to get a good entry for longs. So all of them, the price is just way too high, so it needs to come back to the 20, or the 20 needs to come up to meet the price action. So at the moment we're just kind of hanging in the middle of nowhere, so we'd either range sideways and wait for these 20s to catch up, and then we'll bounce off them and start going up, and if we break then under that, then we could try down to the 50 and hope for a bounce on the 50s. But everything's like kind of just hanging in the middle of nowhere at the moment. XRP sees same kind of thing, so it's also in this area but could come back lower. It looks like it is being rejected. You see what I mean? So it looks kind of, everything looks kind of bullish. I think it's just an expected bit of a pullback and a breather before we go up again. So I'll just sit and wait that maybe when Joseph is back this afternoon, things are going to look good for a nice little pullback and time to get into all the coins again. Then our WRX, that's still just consolidating. We're still waiting patiently just for our big hit to the top here, the 20%. And AVAX, yesterday when we were looking at it, I think we were around about here. I said to you guys that you could, I think we were waiting for stochastic to cross, but I said in this general area just above the 200 would be a good entry, and if you just wanted to be more careful, you could wait for us to break the 50, which we then did here. So somewhere in this red zone, hopefully you did get in and traded to the upside. And yeah, as well, I think same thing could happen. We're just waiting for a little bit of a pullback here, so I would just hold on to positions and still go for that $23 target here on AVAX. And I think that's it from me today, guys. Joseph will be with you guys a little bit later, and then we'll see you tomorrow morning. Cheers.